Well, scene changes again. This time it's Washington. And we find ourselves in the Statler Hotel on the 9th floor. Clean, cool room. A phone is ringing. The man who rented the room has just opened the door when he hears the annoying rumble. He answers something like this. Yes, Morris, this is dash dash. I'm just back from the State Department. Of course, I'd be glad to tell you all about what happened. Sure, come on up. The speaker was one of the 6 American members of the Anglo-American Palestine Commission. He hung up the phone, turned to the newspaper man who'd come upstairs with him and swore bitterly. Those poor, miserable people, he said, having to duck around corners all the time, pleading for information like they live behind barbed wire. Why does the world have to be like this? Why must the fate of millions of people be settled in star chamber proceedings? Why are those striped pants diplomats so determined to reduce the Jews to the status of second-class citizenship? And the newspaper man sat there coldly in the hotel room, a little cynically. He'd heard visitors to Washington talk like this before, but rarely with such bitterness. The citizen turned statesman was mad clean through. He resumed his outburst. You know, there were 10 of us sitting in that room. There wasn't a Jew among us, just the acting Secretary of State, Dean Acheson, Henry Grady, the 2 men just back from London who tried to sell Europe's Jews into the partition ghetto in Palestine, and we 6, the American members of the Anglo-American Commission. It was ghastly the way the State Department tried to rationalize it. They were looking for an out. We 6 men had spent 3 months studying the issue. 6 Englishmen appointed by the British cabinet were also on the commission. We were unanimous in our findings. We agreed perfectly. Even the British went along on every single point. That's how obvious the Palestine situation is. We all went to London together. We heard weeks of testimony here. Then we went to Palestine and heard the Jews tell their story, and we heard the Arabs tell their story, and we were still unanimous. Now the State Department, fawning over the British Foreign Office, is trying to sell us out. Man settles down in his chair, lights a cigarette. Newspaper man takes notes. The voice continues. One of the members of our commission is Billy Phillips. You may have heard of him. He's been a diplomat for years, a State Department man for decades, but he's an honest man. He was an ambassador until recently. He was an ambassador to India and minister to London. When he heard the British Foreign Office proposal, he was violent. When he heard we were thinking of accepting it, you know what he asked? He asked, how long, Mr. Acheson, does the State Department plan to continue as a tail of the British kite? Of course, this is all off the record, concluded the news source. Of course, replied the newspaper man. Of course, says Orson Welles, who got this story from the newspaper man. It's all off the record. Let's let the people sell the people for oil. Let them sell people for alliances and bases in the Middle East, of course. But let's keep it off the record. I wonder if we should.